Sebastian, can you explain to the audience what is causing the economic situation in the United Kingdom, please? Okay. He's lost his tongue. I'm sorry. He's nervous in front of people, yeah. Now, in the United Kingdom, we have a massive borrowing cost problem. I don't mean like you're borrowing, what have you, as in individuals, but the country's borrowing. You see, the country borrows lots of money, and we have a national debt, like most countries. And as such, we have to pay interest on that debt, and that's paid to whoever holds what we call the gilts. And it could be China, considering they, are major buyers, but they've been selling off the gilts recently. Is it the Japan, maybe? I don't know. It could be right across the board. Borrowing costs have gone up because the value of our gilts has gone down because the country is not such a great place to invest in anymore. Now, is that the fault of Labour after around 6 months? No. That's bollocks. Absolute bollocks. Is it the fault of the additional costs of employing someone because of the Class 4 national insurance contributions? No. That's bollocks and all. See, just recently, the value of the pound has gone down, literally today, it's gone down against the dollar, because the dollar is stronger. Not because necessarily the pound's any weaker, but it's weaker against the dollar. The United Kingdom's got a massive problem. We don't have what other countries have got. No. I'll explain in a moment, but please beat the like button if you want to support the channel, do it on Patreon or buy us a coffee. Now, Rachel Reeves is going to hold another budget in March. An emergency budget. It's been announced by Angela Rayner, in fact. Rachel Reeves, she's swanning off to China to try and boost the economy. And that's kind of what we need to do. It's all very well for Ed Davey and others to tell Rachel Reeves, cancel that appointment, you need to sort this out back home. But actually, it's all part and parcel of trying to sort out the situation. We need to increase our growth. We need some growth. Because we've got none. We have no growth in the United Kingdom. We haven't had it for several years. Unfortunately, and much of it is to do with Brexit. You might not like me saying that if you are an avid Brexiteer, or in fact, if a bit bored of Brexit. But the fact of the matter is, Brexit has really hampered our ability to trade with other countries. It really has. Just no getting away from it. The red tape is considerable. It's costing businesses huge amounts of money to do business, and also they've got less business. The farmers in the United Kingdom are in they're in a dire state. Unless they've got masses and masses, very large farms, so they can diversify. But most smaller, holdings, they can't diversify, so they're struggling. Yet they pretty much voted for it. Not every single one, obviously, but many did. Now, we've got this massive situation regarding record highs in the gilts, which is basically pushing our borrowing costs up. And we're already paying over 5%. So it's way over the odds. And when you consider the interest rates were like 0.25% at one point, and we were getting all this borrowing on the basis of this 0.25%, and all of a sudden, the actual cost of borrowing went up through the roof. Because of inflation. And increased interest rates and what have you. And then we obviously had Liz Truss and her Trussnomics absolutely crippling the economy. Now, little Richie Sunak in his short trousers, he managed to... did he manage to improve things somewhat? Maybe he did, maybe he didn't. I have my doubts. A lot of it's just rhetoric. And Rachel Reeves, no matter what people say about her, I think she's sincerely trying to do her best to try and improve matters. But what they do, they just say, the Class 4 national insurance contributions is stifled in investment in the country, direct foreign investment. No, that's not what we need. We need investment in the country, from the country. We really do. We need to boost economic growth in the country amongst those who actually spend the money. That's like you and I. Well, not me, because I live in France now, but I spend my money here. But if you're in the United Kingdom and you're a working class person, likelihood is you're spending quite a large proportion of your money. Again, it ends up in the economy. But if you're a rich asshole, sorry, I'll say it as I say it, because if you've got that much money, like, the Elon Musks of the world, I know he's not in the UK, but you know where I'm going with it. If you're of that ilk and you don't spend the money and you're not supporting people, well then, quite frankly, you're a problem. Yeah, you certainly are, because we need the money in the economy. It's the only way we're going to get any growth. Because we're going to have to work our way out of this situation, and it's no good expecting we're going to get all this direct foreign investment to actually pull us out of this mess. All it will do is exasperate the problem. We're at the precipice. We've been doing this same kind of economics for a very long time now, and it's come to a point where there's nothing left. Because all these people at the top have literally sucked the country dry. There is no more money to share about anymore. Not to the degree it was before. You had the rich people, but you didn't have these stinkily stupid rich people. This is what happens when you have companies. It's one of the reasons why we must have monopolies. We mustn't have monopolies. You have laws against monopolies. But even then, these companies have got too big. Like Google, for instance, literally the whole ecosystem behind it is massive. In the EU, they're kind of forced them to split it up a little bit, regarding Google Maps and the rest of the platform. But they need to go further. These industries, they can obviously work together, but they need to be separated. It's actually quite important. That way, you might be able to have a bit more control of the money. At the moment, what's happening is it's all just been sucked out. It's all been sucked out abroad. You think about it, right? You got these social media companies such as Meta and X and Blue Sky, all of them. We don't have any social media in the United Kingdom. We don't have any. It's all based abroad. It's all based in servers abroad, generally the United States. And unless we actually push back from that and maybe have our own social media systems that maybe integrate somewhat, well, then maybe we could actually prevent some of this money being sucked out. Everything has a cost, you see. You might be on social media and you don't spend any money on there. A lot of people do. A lot of people subscribe to services like YouTube and having, obviously, YouTube Premium, and that money's going abroad. It's not helping anyone in the UK. No. All these major organisations, Amazon, Google, which is Alphabet, Meta, Facebook, they are all based in the United States. So, what are we supposed to do? We need growth, and unless we actually have a government that's willing to make tough decisions, they have made some tough decisions that basically pissed everyone off, but they're all the obvious decisions. They're all like, okay, we're going to make cuts. We're going to have some kind of austerity. It's called austerity, but it's basically austerity, because there's going to be a lot of cuts now. There's going to be a lot of cuts in the civil service, because they're going to have to, because they ain't going to have the money to pay for them. Which means there'll be more unemployed people. And then there's going to be more use of AI, which means there's going to be more unemployed people. That's not growth. That's not growth. That's sticky plaster. The thing that they criticise the Tories for. It's no good making cuts. We need to invest more money in the country. We need to get more money circulating in the country. We need to legislate against these rich arseholes that, quite frankly, they know exactly what they're doing. And while they're swanning around with all that bloody money, ordinary folk who can't make ends meet are struggling. And so is our social safety net. That's struggling. There ain't enough money going into it to support the people that really need it. And then obviously you do have some people that are sponging off it, That obviously happens. And don't go on about immigrants on this channel. It's the quickest way you're going to end up being shadow banned. Because that's a little bollocks and all. We have got massive problems in the United Kingdom. A lack of investment over a very long period of time, whether it be in the NHS, whether it be in just general national infrastructure. Right across the board. Yeah, and the military. Don't forget the military. Crikey, that's depleted somewhat. There's a way out of this, but it does involve spending. Yeah, okay, getting rid of some of the bloat, because there will be some bloat. Getting rid of services that don't make any sense. Stop paying for inquiries that don't actually doesn't actually lead to anything, such as this grooming gang inquiry. Took 7 years and 200 million, and they did nothing. It's just a way of kicking the can down the road, all it is. You know, if they're going to obviously do something about it, well then yeah. But that money could be spent on the police. That money could be spent on investigations. That money could be spent much better where there's actually results. The problem with all this tick box and getting all these inquiries and this, that and that, it doesn't do anything. It might tell you something, but it doesn't do anything. There's plenty of people out there who could be investigated, and some of them are actually already on their books. You know, shadow these people. Such as the terrorists and stuff like that, known terrorists, shadow them. None of it makes any sense, what they're doing, it really doesn't. And now we're going to be having Donald Trump in the White House, and that's going to just... flipping hell. It's just going to go through the roof. You know, our borrowing is the most expensive now for over 27 years. And then we go Donald Trump there. He's just going to cause a huge amount of problem because of his threats regarding these tariffs. That is not going to help. Not the United Kingdom won't help the United States either. The whole thing is an absolute mess. And there's one government that's been in for, or party that's been in for 14 odd years, and they are predominantly responsible for what is going on now. No party can make this amount of difference in just 6 months. Unless you are Liz Truss, and you do the most ridiculous thing where you basically do massive interest cuts for the richest in society. That just creates nervousness. That's a shock. Class 4 contribution increases are not a shock. And anyone complaining about that stuff, it's bollocks. You know, costs will go up, but not to the degree that they're trying to tell you that they are. I've had companies, I know what's like employing people. You know? Oh, you don't want the cost to go up. Of course you don't want your costs to go up. And yes, you're going to moan about it. But to say that's what's causing this situation is a load of flippin' bollocks. There's nothing Rachel Reeves could have really done, apart from actually spending a lot of money quickly. There's nothing she could have done to improve the current situation. The problem, obviously, is spending more money quickly. It means you've got to borrow a lot of money at a high rate. And when the country's already got too much debt, well, it's not very helpful. So, yeah, we're a bit doomed, really, aren't we? I think Little Britain's doomed. Scotland needs to get out of here as quick as possible. Whether you agree with it or not, I think that's what they need. Don't think they've got a lot of choice. What the hell have we done to ourselves, you know? What have we allowed these people to do to us? How much time has been wasted? That itself could have caused us this economic flipping problem. How much time has been wasted over the since Brexit, negotiating Brexit, for instance. Flipping now, nothing was getting done. There's just arguments in parliaments constantly. So all that work they did didn't do any good anyway. It's crazy. And nobody will accept it. They're just looking for excuses. We had flippin' pandemic, a war in Ukraine, and now we've got this flippin' thing. They're all excuses. Brexit was actually something physical, and it's damaged the UK's ability to function, and nobody wants to talk about it. No. I'm supposed to just accept it. I don't accept Brexit. I don't accept the fact that people tell me, oh, you can't call these people, so I call them bloody stupid the cows come home. So it's exactly what they are. Because at the end of the day, if you vote against or do stuff against your own best interest, well then, quite frankly, you are blinking stupid. Unless that was your goal, to do something stupid. Well, then you're a winner. Yeah, you tell me what you've won. Please leave in the comments down below. But please beat the like button if you want to support the channel, this Patreon, or buy us a coffee, and the links down below. So, budget in March. Toodaloo.